This conversation is designed to help you improve your English by learning the most common and essential words and phrases. New vocabulary and expressions are explained naturally during the conversation to make your learning experience smooth and enjoyable. The goal is to make learning English fun, not boring or confusing. Also, be sure to check out the vocabulary guide in the description. It highlights the key words and phrases used in this conversation to make learning even easier.
Hi, Mike. It's great to see you. How are you settling in with your family in the new neighborhood?
Hi, Sarah. Actually, we're still trying to get our bearings. Is that the right expression to use?
Yes, perfect. Getting your bearings means becoming familiar with a new place or situation. How are the kids adapting to the change?
Well, my youngest is having a bit of separation anxiety at her new school. What exactly does that mean? I heard other parents using this term.
A separation anxiety is when a child feels stressed or worried about being away from their parents or home. It's very common when families relocate. How about your better half? Is she enjoying the new environment?
Better half? Is that another way to say wife?
Exactly. Better half is an endearing way to refer to your spouse. We also say significant other or partner these days.
Ah, I see. Yes, Lisa, my better half, is doing well. She's been bonding with other moms in the neighborhood. I've heard this word bonding a lot. Could you explain what it means?
Of course. Bonding means developing a close relationship with someone, like when you spend quality time together and form a connection. Speaking of which, how's your extended family back home?
Extended family, does that mean relatives who aren't part of my immediate family?
That's right. Your immediate family is your spouse and children, while extended family includes grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and in-laws. Are you keeping in touch with them?
Yes, we're having regular video calls. My mother-in-law is quite tech-savvy for her age. What does tech-savvy mean exactly?
Tech-savvy means someone who's good with technology and understands how to use modern devices. It's great that she can stay connected with her grandkids that way. Are your kids thick as thieves with their grandparents?
Thick as thieves? That's an interesting phrase.
It means people who are very close friends or have a very close relationship. We often use it to describe siblings or close family members.
Oh, yes, then they're definitely thick as thieves. Although my older one is going through a phase where she's becoming more independent. She keeps saying she wants to spread her wings.
Do you understand what spread your wings means?
Not really. Could you explain?
It means to become more independent and try new things, like a bird leaving its nest. It's very common with teenagers. Speaking of which, how's your teenager handling the move? Is she following in your footsteps with her interests?
Following in my footsteps. I'm guessing this has something to do with copying what I do?
Exactly. When someone follows in your footsteps, they pursue similar interests or career paths as you. Like if your child wants to become a doctor because you're a doctor.
Ah, I understand now. No, she's actually branching out into her own interests. She's really into arts and crafts, which runs in her mother's side of the family.
Could you explain what you mean by runs in the family?
Oh, actually, I was hoping you could explain it to me. I've heard it used, but I'm not entirely sure.
When something runs in the family, it means a trait, talent, or characteristic that multiple family members share, often passed down through generations. Like musical talent or blue eyes running in a family.
That makes sense. Yes, we're quite a close-knit family. Is that the right way to use this phrase?
Perfect usage. A close-knit family means a family that has strong bonds and spends a lot of time together. How do you maintain these strong family ties with your busy schedule?
Family ties? Is that similar to close-knit family?
Yes, family ties refers to the connections and relationships between family members. Speaking of busy schedules, how do you manage to juggle work and family life?
Juggle, that's an interesting way to put it. What exactly does it mean in this context?
To juggle work and family means to try to manage multiple responsibilities at the same time, like a juggler keeping multiple balls in the air. It can be quite challenging to find the right work-life balance.
Yes, it is, but we're trying to make it work. We always try to have family gatherings on weekends, though sometimes it turns into a madhouse.
Madhouse, that's a fun expression. Do you know what it means?
I've heard it used, but I'm not entirely sure. Could you explain?
A madhouse refers to a very noisy, chaotic situation, often used affectionately when describing busy family situations, Like when all the kids are playing, people are cooking, and everyone's talking at once.
That's exactly what our house is like, especially when we're having a family reunion, though sometimes the kids get cabin fever if we stay inside too long.
Oh, cabin fever. Do you know what that means?
Not really, we just hear it a lot, especially during winter.
Cabin fever is when people feel restless or irritable because they've been stuck indoors for too long. How do you deal with it when the kids get cabin fever?
We try to nip it in the bud by planning outdoor activities. Wait, could you explain what nip it in the bud means?
Nip it in the bud means to stop a problem before it becomes bigger, like cutting a flower bud before it blooms. That's really proactive parenting. Have you been able to establish a good family routine yet?
We're getting there, though sometimes it feels like we're walking on eggshells with the teenagers. What does that phrase mean exactly?
Talking on eggshells means being very careful about what you say or do to avoid upsetting someone. It's quite common with teenagers. Have you had any heart-to-heart conversations with them about the move?
Heart to heart? I've heard this phrase, but I'm not sure about its exact meaning.
A heart-to-heart is an honest, intimate conversation where people share their true feelings. It's really important for keeping family bonds strong. Have your kids been able to build a rapport with their new classmates?
To build a rapport? Could you explain that?
So, build a rapport means to develop a friendly, harmonious relationship with someone. It's about creating mutual understanding and trust. For example, when you hit it off with someone right away.
Hit it off. That's an interesting phrase.
When you hit it off with someone, it means you get along very well with them immediately, like when you meet someone and instantly become friends. Has that happened with any of your new neighbors?
Yes, actually. Though we did have a falling out with one family over a misunderstanding about property boundaries. What does falling out mean?
A falling out is when people who were previously friendly have a disagreement that damages their relationship. But I hope you were able to patch things up.
Patch things up? I'm not familiar with that expression.
To patch things up means to resolve a disagreement and restore a good relationship. It's like mending a torn piece of fabric. Speaking of relationships, how are you handling empty nest syndrome now that your oldest is away at college?
Empty nest syndrome. That's a new term for me.
Empty nest syndrome refers to the feeling of sadness parents often experience when their children leave home, like birds leaving their nest. Do you find yourself dwelling on it?
Dwelling on it. Could you explain that phrase?
To dwell on something means to think about it constantly, often in a negative way. It's better to look on the bright side of things.
Ah, the bright side. That means focusing on the positive aspects, right?
Exactly. And speaking of positivity, have you been keeping up with family traditions in your new home? They can really help create a sense of belonging.
Yes, though sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get everyone together for family dinner. Is that phrase used correctly?
Yes, perfect usage. Like pulling teeth means something is very difficult or requires a lot of effort to accomplish. Have you thought about establishing some new family rituals to bring everyone together?
We're trying, but with everyone going their separate ways, it's like herding cats sometimes. What does that mean exactly?
Herding cats means trying to control or organize a situation that's very difficult to control, like trying to get busy family members to coordinate their schedules. Have you considered having a family powwow about it?
Family powwow. That's an interesting term.
A powwow is an informal meeting or discussion to make decisions or solve problems. It's often used in family contexts. Does your family ever have a black sheep?
Black sheep, what does that mean in family terms?
A black sheep is a family member who's different from the rest or doesn't follow conventional family paths. But nowadays, people are more accepting of different lifestyles. Do you find yourself being a shoulder to cry on for your kids?
Shoulder to cry on? I can guess, but could you explain it?
Being a shoulder to cry on means being someone who provides emotional support and comfort when others are upset. It's an important role in any family. Do you ever feel like you're burning the candle at both ends, trying to be there for everyone? Everyone?
That's a vivid phrase. What does burning the candle at both ends mean?
It means exhausting yourself by trying to do too many things at once, like working hard during the day and staying up late at night. It's important to know when to take a breather.
Take a breather? Is that like taking a break?
Exactly. Taking a breather means pausing to rest and recharge. Speaking of which, do you ever get a chance to let your hair down with other parents?
Put your hair down. I'm not familiar with that expression.
To let your hair down means to relax and behave informally without worrying about rules or appearances. It's important for maintaining your sanity as a parent.
Absolutely. Though sometimes I feel like I'm at my wit's end with all the changes. Could you explain what that means?
Being at your wit's end means feeling so frustrated or overwhelmed that you don't know what to do next. But remember, every cloud has a silver lining.
A silver lining. I've heard this phrase, but I'm not sure about its meaning.
A silver lining refers to finding something positive in a difficult situation, like how your family has grown closer through all these changes. Would you say you wear the pants in your family?
Wear the pants. What does that mean in family context?
To wear the pants means to be the person who makes most of the important decisions in a relationship or family, though nowadays most families believe in equal partnership. Have you found yourself wearing different hats since the move?
Wearing different hats? That's an interesting expression.
Wearing different hats means playing different roles or having different responsibilities, like being a parent, employee, spouse, and friend all at once. Do you ever feel like you're caught between a rock and a hard place with family decisions?
I've heard that phrase before, but I'm not quite sure what it means.
Being caught between a rock and a hard place means facing a difficult decision where both choices seem equally challenging, like choosing between a job opportunity and family stability. Have you had to lay down the law with the kids recently?
Lay down the law? Could you explain that?
To lay down the law means to state rules firmly and make it clear they must be followed. It's part of tough love sometimes.
Oh, tough love. I've heard that term. What exactly does it mean?
Tough love is when you treat someone strictly or sternly because you care about them and want what's best for them, like when you set firm boundaries for teenagers. Do you ever have to be the bad guy?
Being the bad guy? Is that related to tough love?
Yes. Being the bad guy means taking an unpopular stance or making decisions that others might not like, but that you know are necessary. Like setting curfews. Have you noticed any of your kids taking after you?
Taking after? What does that mean exactly?
When someone takes after another person, it means they resemble them in appearance, a behavior, or personality, like when a child has their parents' sense of humor. Do you ever feel like you're walking a tightrope with parenting decisions?
Talking a tightrope, so it's precarious.
Yes, walking a tightrope means trying to maintain a delicate balance, like balancing work commitments with family time. Speaking of balance, do you ever find yourself being a jack of all trades at home?
Jack of all trades? I've heard this, but don't fully understand it.
A jack of all trades is someone who can do many different things reasonably well rather than specializing in one thing, like being able to cook, fix things, help with homework, and manage schedules. Have you had to put your foot down about anything lately? Oh,
Put your foot down. Is that similar to laying down the law?
yes. To put your foot down means to take a firm stance and refuse to change your position on something. It's about setting clear boundaries. Do you find yourself going the extra mile for your family?
Going the extra mile. Could you explain that one?
Oh, going the extra mile means doing more than what's expected or required, like driving across town to get your child's favorite food when they're sick. Have you had to bite the bullet on any tough family decisions?
Bite the bullet. That sounds interesting.
To bite the bullet means to force yourself to do something unpleasant or difficult that you've been avoiding, like finally making a decision about changing schools. Have you noticed any generation gap issues in your family?
Generation gap? I assume it's related to age differences?
Yes, a generation gap refers to the differences in attitudes, values, and behaviors between people of different generations, like between parents and teenagers. Sometimes it can cause friction. Do you ever find yourself beating around the bush with difficult family topics?
Beating around the bush? What does that mean? Yeah?
Beating around the bush means avoiding talking about something directly, especially difficult topics. It's better to tackle things head on, don't you think?
Tackle things head on? Could you explain that phrase?
To tackle something head on means to deal with a problem directly and immediately rather than avoiding it. Have you had to call the shots on any major family decisions lately?
All the shots? Is that like making decisions?
Exactly. Calling the shots means being the person who makes important decisions. Though in a family, it's often best to get everyone on the same page.
And what does on the same page mean?
Being on the same page means everyone having the same understanding or agreement about something. It's crucial for family harmony. Have you had to break the ice with any new family neighbors?
Break the ice? I hear this often, but I'm not sure about its exact meaning.
To break the ice means to do or say something to reduce tension or get conversation flowing in a new social situation. Like when you first meet new neighbors. Have you had to keep the peace between siblings lately?
Keep the peace? That sounds important.
Keeping the peace means preventing or stopping arguments and maintaining harmony. It's a big part of family life. Sometimes you have to pick your battles, though.
Pick your battles. What does that mean?
Picking your battles means choosing carefully which issues are worth arguing about or taking a stand on, and letting minor issues go. It's especially important with teenagers. Have you had to read between the lines with any family situations?
Read between the lines? Could you explain that?
To read between the lines means to understand what someone really means, even when they haven't said it directly. Like when your teenager says fine, but clearly isn't fine. Sometimes you need to give them space to cool off.
Cool off? Is that about calming down?
Yes, to cool off means to calm down when you're angry or upset. Speaking of which, have you had any heart-to-heart talks with your kids about the big move?
I wonder if my kids think I'm set in my way sometimes. What does that phrase mean?
Being set in your ways means being fixed in your habits and resistant to change. It's often used to describe older family members. Do you ever feel like you're running around in circles with family responsibilities?
Ring around in circles? That sounds exhausting.
Yes, running around in circles means being very busy but not making progress. You know, Mike, since we've covered quite a few family expressions today, why don't we take some time to review them? It'll help reinforce what you've learned.
That's a great idea, Sarah. I've learned so many new expressions today.
Perfect. Let's start our review session. First, tell me what getting your bearings means.
I remember this one. It means becoming familiar with a new place or situation, like what my family is doing now in our new neighborhood.
Excellent. What about the difference between immediate family and extended family?
Immediate family means spouse and children, while extended family includes relatives like aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents.
You've got it. Remember when we talked about different ways to refer to spouses?
Yes, you can say better half, significant other, or partner. They're all endearing ways to refer to your spouse.
Perfect. What about when children are very close to each other?
You say they're thick as thieves. And when teenagers start becoming independent, we say they're spreading their wings.
Fantastic memory. What about when certain traits are common in a family?
We say it runs in the family. And when a family has strong bonds, we call it a close kit family.
Excellent. Remember the expression for managing multiple responsibilities?
Yes, we call it juggling, work and family life. And when things get really chaotic at home, it becomes a madhouse.
Great. What about that feeling when you're stuck inside too long?
That's cabin fever. And we try to nip it in the bud, stop problems before they get bigger.
You're doing so well. What about being very careful around sensitive people?
That's walking on eggshells. And when we have deep, meaningful conversations, we call them heart-to-heart talks.
Perfect. Remember what we say when people immediately get along?
They hit it off. And if they have a disagreement later, that's called a falling out.
What about the feeling parents get when children leave home?
That's empty nest syndrome. And if you think about it too much, you're dwelling on it.
Excellent. Remember that funny expression about trying to organize family activities?
Yes, it's like herding cats, trying to control an uncontrollable situation. And when we need to discuss something as a family, we have a powwow.
Let's continue our review. Do you remember what it means to be a shoulder to cry on?
Yes, it means being someone who provides emotional support to others. And when we're exhausting ourselves, we say we're burning the candle at both ends.
Great. What about wearing different hats?
That means playing different roles, like being a parent, spouse, and employee all at once. And when we face difficult decisions, we become between a rock and a hard place, and it's hard.
Excellent. Remember what laying down the law means?
It means setting firm rules. And when we do this out of care, it's called tough love.
Perfect. What about taking after someone.
That means resembling someone in looks or behavior. And when we need to balance carefully, we're walking a tightrope.
You've learnt so much. Remember what a generation gap is?
Yes, it's the difference in attitudes between different generations. And when we avoid discussing something directly, we're beating around the bush.
Outstanding. Well, Mike, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. You've really gotten the hang of these family expressions.
Thanks, Sarah. These phrases will definitely help me understand and communicate better, especially when talking about family life in English.
That's great to hear. Remember, the best way to remember these expressions is to use them in your daily conversations.
I'll definitely try to incorporate them naturally. This has been such a helpful conversation.
I'm glad I could help. Keep practicing and don't forget, family life might have its ups and downs, but that's what makes it special.
Thanks again, Sarah. Same time next week for another English session.
Absolutely. Take care and give my best to your better half and the kids.
Will do. Have a great rest of your day.